Hi, my name is Judie VanKooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. This month's show is about Mi Amore, and my guests are Suzanne, Carson, and Mica Tallent. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome. Suzanne, I'm going to start with you. You wear many hats. What is your professional background?
So I originally went to school for teaching, and I was a teacher for a little while. I had my kids and decided to stay home. But during that whole time period, I'm also in the military, and I'm in the Air National Guard, so I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. So, and then after I had my kids, I decided to go back to work, and then I decided to go work for the Army as a civilian. So that's what I do now.
Okay, well, thank you for serving our country.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. And Suzanne, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
So we moved here from Ohio about 9 years ago, and my husband got a job in Boston, and then we had our children here, and my daughter's 8, and my son is 5, and that's our big family.
Yeah. Cool.
Not as big as Mica's.
And you already mentioned how long you've lived in Winthrop, so you're planted and you're settling down into.
We are settled. I feel like we are very ingrained in the community now.
Yeah, it's a quaint little town, and I like it. So, Micah, you were planted in Winthrop. How long have you lived here?
We've only been in Winthrop for 2 years, so not long, but love it.
So newbie.
Yes,
and,
newbie to Winthrop.
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yes, I am married, have been for 23 years, and we have 5 children and 2 foster babies.
Mm-hmm.
So lots going on.
Yes, good. And you wear many hats too. Before you had your family, what was your professional background?
I was in the process of going to nursing school. That was always my dream, was to be a NICU nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband and I were married, and I was told we would never have any children. And lo and behold, as soon as I go to school, I got pregnant and had to drop out because I was so sick. So I've still completed some of the nursing, but not at the degree yet. So
I'm sure there'll be a time.
There'll be a
down the
day.
road. Yes, yes, and that's good. It's very important, both your professional backgrounds. And Suzanne, you and your husband started a nonprofit. What is the name of it, and how did you come up with that name?
It's called Mi Amore because my husband, he comes from an Italian background, and he actually was active duty Air Force in Italy and learned how to speak Italian, and would call my daughter Mi Amore. He still calls my daughter Mi Amore, and my son, let's say that too. But it started with her. And then when he got this idea about the project, we were just trying to figure out what to call it, and it seemed like a good fit. He just wanted something to reflect, who we were loving at the time, which was my daughter when we started it. So.
Okay, cool. And what does Mi Amore consist of?
He got this idea of Mi Amore because when we were in college years ago, we were at a gas station, and he saw, I think, the cashier come out and throw those, those little triangle sandwiches away. He's like, gosh, there's a lot of food waste going on, especially when you come from families that, you didn't have a lot of food. So when we moved to Boston, we wanted to do some volunteering. It's hard when you have a family. And you start having babies to get out of the house and do some volunteering. So once we had my daughter, we thought, well, what can we do? And this was always on his mind. So he decided, well, let's do a food recovery. So he started doing some research, and there's some larger organizations in the Boston area. The one that he was looking at that he spoke with was Love and Spoonfuls. And it's a little bit bigger, where they take food from similar organizations like we do, but bigger, I think bigger companies, and take the food and take it to the shelters and the soup kitchens. It's not point to point like what we do it. So that's kind of how he got this started. And what was your original question?
About what does Mi Amore consist of?
Okay, so then we dial it down, where we work with the organizations in town, the schools, any of the the larger, I actually shouldn't say larger, but any of the businesses like the Arbors was one of the first ones to work with us. The restaurants in town, the yacht clubs, the market is the one that we consistently work with. And any food that looks like it could be thrown away for whatever reason. It could look like it's, you know, getting a little older, maybe close to expiring, or maybe it's just they're getting a new shipment in and they need to fill those shelves. Anything that would typically be thrown away. If a restaurant has food left over, if one of the yacht clubs has an event and they have food left over, if a school has an event, they have lots of pizzas left over, they call us, we just go pick it up, and then we take it to recipients that have been identified by community members in town.
Okay.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
I think so.
And you gave us some examples of places that people that receive food from. So there's many businesses and organizations and stuff that are working with you for that. That's good. Good. And you and your husband have a church in Winthrop. Can you please tell us about that?
Yes, when we came to Winthrop, that was our main reason, was to start a church, a Christian church, and it's Harbor City Church. We meet at the old gym, and we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and it's been very exciting. Part of it was to get to know the community, have a place where people could go and, of course, worship God, but also have a place of community where we could love on people.
Well, congratulations on the anniversary.
you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I've heard a lot of good things about the church.
Thank you.
Stuff. So, and you are very involved in the community too. What types of things is the church involved in?
There's so much, I probably will miss something, but we have joined in, of course, with Mi Amore. That was one of the first things that we got involved with, just getting to know people. That was not really one of the church's goals, but it was my husband and I's goal to just, how can we get to know people in the community? So we looked for places to volunteer. And then the church went out and we have soccer nights that are free for the children. We've done basketball camps. We have done cotton candy. We're known for the cotton candy and popcorn at all the events from the Halloween and Christmas, and wherever there's an event, we try to get a booth and set up. So just
good.
wherever we can serve. We've even pulled weeds and painted, if we can get somebody in the town that says, hey, this is a need, but we really don't have the funds, then we'll provide a group and we'll come take care of it for you.
Clean the beach.
Clean the
Remember that was
beach,
one of
yes,
them?
we
Yep.
did that.
That's so nice.
Yes, so
Good.
I mean, we're all over town.
Yeah. Okay, great. And Suzanne, do you know of any other organizations like Mi Amore in the area?
I think my husband probably has a better answer than I do for this one, but Love and Spoonfuls is the one that comes to mind, that, as I was mentioning before, that I think is a bigger organization in Boston that takes it to soup kitchens, I think shelters maybe, but nothing point to point like we do, because we don't store the food in any way, and a lot of organizations have that capability. We thought, well, this is a way we can just go to the restaurant or go to the market, pick up the food, take it straight to the recipient, with a whole lot of volunteers that help us.
Right.
So, yeah.
Good. And Mike, why did you want to get involved and volunteer with Mi Amore?
After we found out what it was about and serving the community, it was just to have relationships with people in the community, and we thought, what a way to serve is to help those that are in need. And I think the best and favorite part is watching some of the recipients say, hey, I don't need it, give it to somebody that really needs it, because they're not taking advantage of this organization, and it's just their heart even in it is, this week I'm good, go find someone else that needs it. And I don't know, it's just been a touching ministry, so we've stayed involved and got more involved, I guess is a good way to put it.
Great. And Suzanne, how much food did Mi Amore recover from 2016 to 2019?
Actually, I brought my flyer with me to help me remember these numbers. But as we were getting started in 2016, we recovered the fair market value of $6,000, and 17 was $14,000, and 2018 was $18,000, and 2019 was $21,000. So altogether, $61,000 worth of food that typically would have been thrown out.
Amazing.
So, and most of it is perfectly fine. It's edible, it's good. It's just stuff, again, that was just going to get thrown out. Some of it, every once in a while, you kind of get something a little more wilted, or
But not,
But we give the food to them. They decide, how they want to put it together and eat it, and sometimes it's great stuff. Sometimes it's leftover cakes and breads and meats and good stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. And Suzanne, do you think that there are people in the U.S. that are going without food besides what you are doing, coming across in Winthrop? What can we do as a nation to help?
I think that there's this misnomer that people that need food get food from organizations like food stamps and things like that. But there are so many hurdles in that process to get those food stamps. And those food stamps don't always provide as much as people think that they provide. And it doesn't account for the refrigerator going out with all the food that you just used your food stamps on and destroying all the food that you just had, and now you have no food for the rest of the week. There's a lot of circumstances that cause people to need food. Somebody gets sick, somebody gets cancer, they lose their job because of it, or what would be some other examples that we've seen?
Yeah, the refrigerator going out is one of the big ones that's happened to two different families.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that go in people's lives that cause them to have the disability of getting the food when they need it, and I don't think people think about that. They automatically think that people have food stamps. Why are people
or their income is too much for food stamps, but they have cancer or something comes up that medical expenses are outrageous, and so that's what they pay first, and they don't have food.
Yeah.
Right. Especially the elderly. I mean, they have their meds, the food. So what do they, or they have a pet, and so what can, they have to feed the, pet, and so it's hard. It's like,
so I think if the more people learn about organizations like this and learn that there are people out there that are not eating, maybe some more community involvement, community leaders getting more involved, I think that would help.
Yeah. That'd be great. And Mica, there are children helping with Mi Amore. Do they enjoy it, or is it something that they have to do?
I wouldn't say they have to do it, no. I think they really enjoy it, especially when we go to the market and we're handing out the Christmas meals and the Thanksgiving meals. That's the biggest time they love to come and go help deliver that big box of food for that special dinner they're going to have. And I think the kids, it teaches them as well that this is something that's important. And I think it's good for my children to be able to see that not everybody has a refrigerator full of food, and anybody can be in that spot tomorrow. It doesn't mean today you may have a good job, but tomorrow something may happen. And I think it's just neat to see that they can see this.
They get to go with us to do deliveries. It's mainly just the volunteers and the kids that we have to bring along with us because we're doing deliveries, and the kids get to see that there are people that need this food.
And it sees their parents serving, which is hopefully going to be passed on to them one day.
It's great. And then the recipients, we have such good recipients typically. I mean, especially when we were doing the big deliveries for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I mean, some of the recipients say right to the kids, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope, I'm proud of you. And the kids they embody that.
They do, for sure.
Yeah. You hear so many feel-good stories about kids volunteering and helping in one way or another. It's just, you go, wow, they were brought up right, or, something like that. So it's awesome that, that there are kids helping with Mi Amore. Yeah. And a lot of people don't like taking food that has been donated. Have you found anyone receiving food from Mi Amore like that? You mentioned about, saying no, that they were all set. For
most of the time, in my experience, the only thing they'll say, hey, this particular food we don't necessarily will eat, so give it to someone else. And it's not necessarily that they don't want it. It's just if it's going to go to waste at their house, then why bring it, give it to someone else that's going to actually eat a certain, just like us, we're picky on some of the foods we eat. And so why should we put it in their box and it just go to waste? And they know that's what we're trying to prevent. So I think that's
it's a small community, and we know our recipients very well, and I think we all have really good relationships with them. And so we know what they like, what they don't like.
Right.
If one has teenagers that doesn't like a lot of vegetables, they say, go ahead, give it to somebody else, like she said. So, yeah.
And Suzanne, what is the mission statement for Mi Amore?
So as you say that, it's funny because I feel like we need to reinvent our mission statement, because we have a long paragraph in here that I think it tells about what we do and explains what we do, but I don't think it's very specific as a mission statement. So it says the project recovers food destined for disposal but edible, and reallocates to the elderly, single and struggling families in Winthrop on a daily basis. Food waste is identified, stored by the donor with a point-to-point service. The all-volunteer project recovers and delivers the food to an at-risk populations in the community. So I feel like that could probably be narrowed, but that's really what we do, and that really is our mission. So I think I feel like that's about as good of a mission statement as I can give you right now.
Right,
But we probably should narrow that down a little bit.
There's no problem with that at all, doing something like that. And Suzanne, before you started Mi Amore, how much food would you guess was being wasted in Winthrop?
It was shocking to me how much food is wasted, as far as just and I think it's funny because some of the organizations we work with different organizations off and on, and of course the market has been an enduring one, but I think they realize when they start working with us how much food is being wasted, and it identifies it to them, and I think they
when you box it up and realize, wow, when you keep a track of it, it's amazing.
So I would say a significant amount, depending on the organization. Working with the restaurants I don't think have a lot of food waste. They typically use their food that they have, but it just depends. You know, when you have those big events, you can't account for everyone that may or may not be coming, and that's food that's wasted if you can't give that out to people. So I'm glad that they know who we are now and call us, and we have a larger volunteer force that can help. So
yeah. And do you get calls anytime and every day?
We have a schedule with the Winthrop Market on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. We go pick up there in the afternoon, and but the schools are just, it's random when they have events. The yacht clubs, when it's random, it can be. We'll get a phone call saying, we're having an event tonight. We might have food left over, or we just had an event. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. Can anyone go pick something up? And so we have a big text link between all of our volunteers. Can anybody go pick that up?
Because it normally needs to be delivered as well that evening if it's fresh food.
So and then we have to ask our recipients who's home, but
it all works.
It all works out.
It all works.
About how many families or how many people are you serving in Winthrop?
I'm looking at this because we just got this printed actually, and we just added a whole lot of families, and so I think altogether we have 69 individuals, and that's separated out by 42 adults and 27 children within that. So it's a lot more people just in the past 3 or 4 months.
Right, it is.
So.
Okay, and what is the future for Mi Amore?
I'm so excited because this past 6 months alone it's been growing, and not that I'm excited that we're getting more people that are recipients, but we're being more people are being identified, and more people are learning about us, and it's all referral. It's all I have a neighbor, I have a friend that needs help. I don't know if we've ever had anyone that says, I need help.
Right.
It's all people referral, and that's okay. They can come to us and ask us for help, but it's just the community helping the community, and it's growing that way. And then with that, the volunteers and the donors that are donating to the organization, all that money goes to food to buy for these meals that that we can provide
special
them.
occasions.
We've a lot more people know about the organization now.
So is it you're just planning on staying in Winthrop with this?
So that would be great to move outside of Winthrop, to maybe into the surrounding communities. If we can get somebody in those communities to we will tell them exactly how we did it. We can help them along and building that up in their own community. So we'd love that. We will be open to anybody asking us any questions about that.
It's such a great thing to helping.
Yeah.
Stuff. And at a recent Chamber Awards dinner, You got an award for Mi Amore. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thanks.
And your church
Yes.
received an award too, and stuff.
Yes,
So
we're very
congratulations.
excited.
That's
Yes.
nice because that shows that you're doing a lot for
Right.
this community, both of you. So thank you.
We enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have to like what you
That's
do.
right.
You know, that's what I've always said. You
Right.
know, so important and stuff. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So okay. And Suzanne, if anyone has any questions, can you please give us your contact info?
Yes, they can always go to our website, which is www.mi-amore.org. And then we also have a Facebook page, Mi Amore Winthrop. And if they message us on that, I feel like that's the best way to contact us. But I just want to reiterate, like, this is just it's a great organization, but completely volunteer, community-led. My husband and I put it together, but there's no way that this would have continued the way it did without all of our volunteers, our board members, just everyone that's helped out with the process. So
Right.
I'm just
It's
very,
a good group of people.
very thankful for everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice.
they keep it going.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add for our audience about Mi Amore?
If anybody has any questions, message us. If they feel that they have a need, if they want to be a recipient, or if they would like to volunteer, that would be great. We always need volunteers.
Right,
We not cycle through volunteers, but we like to get a lot of people helping us.
Right.
And then if anybody has any questions about donating food or anything else, we'll get them that information.
Be awesome.
Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
That's what I was thinking was the food, if anybody,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of times it's like, how do you do the food without getting in trouble and all that? And they have all that taken care of.
Right.
So it's really good to hear how that's all taken care of. So they're not responsible for that.
Oh,
Right.
yes. Thank you for saying
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because some people might
Because they're
say,
like, if I
"Yeah."
give food and then they get sick, and then, so it's
Right.
nice to know that the business is not the one responsible for that.
Right.
Right.
Since it's a nonprofit, it has that clause.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very important.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.